We present to you a small selection of films of 2021 that we thought were good, 3 stars, and worth watching. We base our score on the plot, performances, scenography, cinematography, special effects, if any, set designs, costume design, among other elements of the film, and what we thought of the film as a whole. In this video, we give you the plot summaries and our mini reviews. Hopefully, you'll find this video useful. Until next time! Beckett. While on vacation in Greece, Beckett becomes the victim of a chase after a devastating accident. As tensions and political unrest rise, Beckett sinks further into a dangerous web of conspiracies. This film has an interesting, intriguing, suspenseful plot that keeps you hooked until the end with decent performances, so we give it 3 stars out of 5. Chernobyl, Abyss. Alexei, a firefighter at the Chernobyl power plant, is accompanied by Valerie, an engineer, and Boris, a military diver, on a dangerous mission to drain water from the reservoir beneath the burning reactor. This film explores the personal drama of a fictional firefighter and his family during this disaster, and you have to appreciate the film following this angle of the story. If you are looking for a documentary-style movie that explores the reasons behind the disaster or who is to blame for it, this film is not for you. The movie starts a bit slow and there are some boring parts, but it has decent performances and a dramatic plot that makes it worth watching. So we give it 3 stars out of 5. Don't Breathe 2. A blind veteran must use his military training to save a young orphan from a group of thugs breaking into his home. This film is an acceptable sequel to the first movie with a story that keeps you in suspense with good performances, but is not as good as the first. Even so, we give it 3 stars out of 5. Ghostbusters, Afterlife. A single mother and her 2 children arrive in a small town, discovering their connection to the original Ghostbusters and the secret legacy their grandfather left behind. This movie is a direct sequel to the first film, Ghostbusters. This movie is fun and reminds you of the first film that originated this franchise. We were pleased to see that it has nothing to do with a crappy 2016 movie and rather is like a possible revival of the franchise. The elements of the film are decent, as are the performances, and because it's entertaining, we give it 3 stars out of 5. Last Night in Soho. A young fashion student travels back in time and ends up in London in the 1960s. There she meets her idol, a singer. However, soon she discovers that life in Soho is different from what she expected. This film starts somewhat slow, but as the story progresses, it gets interesting, creepy, and intrigues you by keeping you hooked until an almost unexpected but predictable finale. All the elements of the film are good, including the soundtrack and the performances, so we give it 3 stars out of 5. No Time to Die. The legendary spy James Bond has left active duty. His piece is short-lived as his old friend Felix Leiter of the CIA appears asking for his help, leading Bond to the trail of a mysterious villain armed with a new, dangerous and lethal technology. This film is like the others, full of drama, action, intrigue, suspense and good elements, including the performances that make it entertaining to watch. But honestly, we didn't like the ending. Agent 007 deserved a better outcome, sensitive and considerate to everything he suffered, and we are not interested or care for the excuses or reasons given by the producers of the film for giving him such an ending, So we give this movie 3 stars out of 5 instead of 4. Red Notice. Reluctantly, an FBI profiler teams up with the world's most wanted art thief to catch a criminal who always manages to stay one step ahead. This film seemed somewhat exaggerated with hard-to-believe parts, but still entertaining enough to watch with decent performances and movie elements, so we give it 3 stars out of 5. The Card Counter. William Tell is a former military man and professional poker player. A vulnerable and angry young man named Cirque asks him to help him take revenge on a colonel. Tell sees in his relationship with this young man the opportunity to redeem the past that tortures him. This film has an interesting plot, and if you like playing poker, this movie is for you. The performances are good and keeps you entertained, so we give it 3 stars out of 5. The Electrical Life of Louis Wain. This film is inspired by the true story of Louis Wain, a British artist, inventor and entrepreneur who moved heaven and earth to take care of his 5 sisters and his mother. His life is turned upside down when he meets Emily, the love of his life, and they both adopt Peter, a stray cat. This film has some slow and dull parts, but the overall story is interesting, dramatic, and with good movie elements, including good performances that make it entertaining to watch. So we give it 3 stars out of 5. The Last Duel. This is a story of the duel between John de Carouge and Jacques Legris, 2 friends who became rivals. When Carouge's wife is harassed by Legris, something he denies, she does not remain silent and accuses him. The ensuing duel to the death determines the fate of the 3. This film is interesting with good elements such as set designs, costumes, etc., and has good performances. If you like medieval times movies, this one is for you, so we give it 3 stars out of 5.